I know what you're thinking. So this is not going to be a typical video. In fact, I'm just going to say it. I don't really want to edit for a while. I'm tired, but I just want to talk, okay? Can we just talk? Can we have a discussion? One-on-one? Not one-on-one. One on the community talk. All right, can we talk about things? I want to just talk. Can we just talk? Let's just talk. So there's this anime called Frieren, Beyond's Journey's End. How do you say this? Frieren? Frieren? In Japanese, in the katakana, they would be pronounced Frieren. But I'm just gonna say Frieren because, you know, Frieren, you know, get it? Cause Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan wants to be free. Free my man Eren. Get it? No one gets it, but it's okay. It's okay. I know it's a German word that's being translated. It's being pronounced in Japanese, but it is. But anyway, whatever. The point is, this anime is about this elf girl named Frieren, who can live a very long time because she's an elf, and you know, elves, you know. So if to a human, she's practically immortal. In fact, I don't know how old she is. She could be like, what's the average age of an elf? According to Tolkien, the average age of an elf is basically they're immortal. They age until their prime and then they stay this way, never diminishing. They can be killed, but they never age, sicken or die. Can you imagine being killed as an elf, as an immortal being, just dying, getting killed? That must suck. Where do they go? If they're immortal, then they must have like there has to be a reason why they're immortal. But I bring this up because I wanted to talk about immortality, and I think immortality is really, really weird. Like, the concept of immortality is weird. If you were to be immortal in our life, in our reality, you know, as a human, if there was an elf among us and they lived for such a long time, like over 1,000 years, 1,000 years ago, they would have saw humanity as a bunch of fucking inbred idiots who worshipped a bunch of gods and then hated each other because they worshipped a different god. Wars were started. And then there was a lot of, like, you know, class issues where there was rich people that took advantage of very stupid poor people. But the rich people were also really stupid. It's weird, isn't it? What would they think about us? Would they think we were, as they see us evolve, we get from, they saw us as like a bunch of monkeys that like beat each other with bones to like TikToking, scrolling Zoomer babies, you know? What would they think? Would they think we're weird? Did they also evolve from like weird monkeys? Do you think elves, if they live a long time, do you think they do archaeological research of themselves? Right? Isn't that interesting? Like, yeah, 1,000 years ago. But imagine, you know, I read that she was like in the wiki, and I didn't read anymore because I didn't want to spoil it, but over 1,000, okay, we're not going further than that. We're assuming that she's over 1,000 years old. All right. Can you imagine being an immortal being? Like, you were born as an elf, okay? So you grew, you know, for the past, and you grow to your prime. So her prime is basically like a 16-year-old, you know, teenager. And, you know, whatever, that's your prime, that's your prime. Imagine if that's your prime. Can you imagine? Like, you can live over 1,000 years, but you reach puberty at 16, and then you never get any taller. And before you ask, no, we're not gonna go there, all right? Don't let your intrusive thoughts win, okay? Keep your mind out of whatever you're thinking about her being over 1,000 years. We're not gonna get there, okay? We might get there later at the end, and I'll ask you a question that even you will cringe, but we won't get there, all right? They're not talking about that. No. Shut up. Don't do that. We're gonna talk about wholesome ages and immortality. The whole concept of the anime is that she eventually joins a party of humans, you know, only elf amongst these humans. She has a nice party. And then she, you know, she stays the same because she essentially is immortal, but they age up. And so they're in their like they're like about to die. They've passed their prime, and now she's all alone. And she realizes that, you know, I couldn't find an actual picture of this without reaction, so we're just gonna have this guy here. I don't know who this is, but shout out to this guy, I guess. But, you know, eventually her party starts being nostalgic over their adventure of defeating the demon lord. And, you know, she doesn't really understand because, well, You know, she's an elf. Like 10 years from now, she'll still be the same. I don't think she ever fully I don't think she fully understands or grasps the idea of like time. Because why would she? That's not something that bothers her. You don't physically change with her. She's immortal. But then like her friends, you know, they get nostalgic. They get weaker, frail. And it's kind of sad. And maybe not sad, maybe melancholic. But yeah, it must be really lonely to never age and to see all your friends die. Imagine falling in love. You know, that's not like that's like, imagine being like the only elf left. That'd be horrifying, you know? You know, maybe there are elves. Okay, let's take it back to our reality. Ignore the fantasy aspect. What if there was an elf among us? Forget aliens, all right? We want elves. Like if there was an elf that lived for the entirety of the humanity, they were probably there for like dinosaurs. Imagine if they can live up to 100 million years or whatever. They probably saw the dinosaurs roam the earth. They probably saw us as like little tadpoles or monkeys. Okay, we're assuming that evolution is real, but I'm pretty sure that's probably the accurate statement. But even if there was like, but even if God did create everything and Adam and Eve and all that stuff, maybe they were there for that too. You know, what if they were there when Eve ate the fucking apple like a dumb bitch she was and just ruined all of it, humanity? Can you imagine? This person was there for all that. This person was, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but like, that's probably what being immortal is. You're just seeing humanity repeat the same mistakes over and over. Like, wouldn't that be crazy? She's probably seen a lot of stuff. But also, what the hell is with her ears? Her ears are comically large. Like, they're big ol' ears. Like, you know how the size, you know how big her Q-tips would have to be to clean that shit? Like, goddamn, man. Her ears are bigger than her fucking eyes. Actually, wait, hold on. Are my ears bigger than my eyes? Wait, no, they are. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, wait. Okay, that weirded me out. But back to her ears. Can you imagine? Like, a spider could fucking crawl in there and make a whole ass web in there. That is weird. But actually, I thought about it some more, and like, immortality, like, you know, these elves can reach their prime, right? So what if we enslaved them? What if, okay, no, let's not enslave elves. Let's not promote slavery. But what if, you know how a lot of like, you know, Japanese interpretation of elves are usually like some form of slaves because they probably would make the great labor, which in certain genres, would be a specific type of slave, but we're not going to go there. But imagine if they were just like, you know, regular slaves, like laborer slaves, like free labor kind of slaves. If they reach their prime and they can never get like hurt or sick or weak, would they make the best workforce? You know what I mean? Like, say if her job was to take rocks from point A to point B, she would probably be able to do it and never get hurt. Imagine just doing that forever, like enslaved. It's so interesting. Can you imagine? Like, you're an immortal race and you get enslaved by humans of all people. Like, how does that happen? You'd think it'd be the opposite because like they're immortal. So we would worship them as gods. It is so weird that we don't really worship them as gods. Like, this girl is treated the same like everyone else. Like, oh, you know, she's an elf. But dude, she lives for a long time. You think we'd be like, they'd be like, oh my God, she must have some kind of magic that keeps her going. But no, it's just her race. It's her passive. She just lives a long time. She also has magic. Oh yeah, she's also a mage. Yeah, well then there you go. They got the magic involved. Weird. This is such a weird video. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what the fuck I was going with this. I just wanted to talk about immortality. But this is what I get when I was watching this anime. It was like, you know, I didn't necessarily want to talk about the plot. I just want to talk about this concept of, you know, how lonely would it be to be like immortal? And I remember when I was like walking around in downtown and this girl approached me and she was kind of cute. And I was like, oh my God, am I in my popular phase? Have I gotten to the point where women approach me because I'm so hot? No. She approached me because she wanted me to answer a survey, which I guess fine. So anyway, she asked me about this question about if I had a choice, would I want to live forever? first of all, my first thought was like, what the fuck is this for? And she was very, very vague about it. So luckily, I don't think she was there to dox me. But I answered her question and I thought a bit, like a few minutes, and I said, I don't think I want to live forever. Because I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if I want to like restart my life again, you know? Because like, you know, when you're living your life, like you're growing up with like people that you know around you. And then when they get to the point of your age where they outgrow your age, well, then you gotta have to start over. Or you chill with them until they die. And then you have to deal with the loss of that. But that's what the world is constantly changing. And so you need to keep learning. I guess if you were like a studious person, it would be kind of interesting. Because then you can keep learning and learning. You can read as many books as you want. But what if you were, but then you have to get a job, right? Like, what would you do for money? Because as you know, as the world changes, you know, ways to survive change as well. You know, 1,000 years ago, you know, you were probably a serf. Like you were probably just a farmer just toiling in the land. And nowadays, you need to get like a job for a corporation. Maybe you could think about like, oh, what if I was smart? What if it could take my immortality and become like a CEO and use it to like exploit workers? But I don't know. If you were immortal, what would you do with that immortality? Do you want to be immortal? I feel like eventually I would want to die because it would get kind of lonely. You'd have so many friends, you know, but they all die and you have to start over. Every 100 years, you would have to basically make new friends and then go through the same tragedy of losing them again. Like, geez. And I know she didn't get to know the person that died. Like, she didn't get to know him. That's why she's so sad. And so she's going to spend the next cycle of her life getting to know the people only for them to die. Which would make the feelings of sadness worse because now you know them. Right? Jeez. I know there's some people, maybe I'm just not very ambitious with my life, you know? Maybe if I was a very ambitious person, I could take my immortality and use it to take over the world. But I don't really think like that. Maybe I should start thinking like that. What if there's a person that was immortal and had a fucking hustle Sigma grind set? Can you imagine if this girl was a Sigma male? An immortal Sigma male? Jesus. The amount of content that would come out of that would be pretty insane. But yeah, what do you think about immortality? Would you want to do it? Do you think it's weird? And now, to finally answer that question about your weird intrusive thoughts, I will give you this one thing to ponder about, all right? She's at her prime, all right? She's 1,000 years old, so she would be legal, okay? Could you fit your penis in her here?
100円ください。